Hello, this building behind me is Endeavour House, the headquarters of Suffolk County Council. Andrea Hill, the council's embattled chief executive, hasn't been seen here for more than 2 weeks. And today the council revealed it was investigating claims against her made by a whistleblower. And while that investigation goes on, the country's most controversial boss has been told to stay at home on full pay.
The complaints against the high-earning chief executive were anonymous. While an independent review is carried out, she already looks out of step. A lot has happened since she and the former council leader Jeremy Pembroke began championing a new strategic direction for the council, with the future of libraries and lollipop patrols among services under threat. A key turning point came at a meeting at Westminster between Mr Pembroke and Suffolk's Conservative MPs. Their message, enough was enough. The policies threatened to rip the heart out of their local communities. The very next day, Mr Pembroke announced he was stepping down as council leader.
We're delighted now that we've got a new leader, Mark B, and the concern is also that Andrea Hill, given the fact that she is creating so much media attention in herself, that she has become the story, and that's getting in the way of the County Council delivering its services and its message.
Do you think she will come back to work?
I don't know. I think that's a decision for her and obviously for the County Council leadership to decide. I think certainly many of my residents in central Suffolk and North Ipswich would be very happy if she didn't.
Right from the start, Andrea Hill's salary of £218,000 was an issue, the more so as she spearheaded the programme to slash over £100 million from the council budget. There were fears the Andrea factor was costing votes. In Ipswich today, few regrets. Her time at Endeavour House could be coming to an end.
So it's time for her to go and get someone else in who could perhaps do the job better.
They've paid her that money and she's worth it, and good luck to her, that's what I say.
Get rid of her, get somebody who's going to get constructive people to do their job.
Well, it's a difficult time for everybody, I realise, but she has been overpaid, in my opinion.
I think in the current climate, I'm not terribly comfortable with how much she is paid, and I think she needs to consider her position.
When I last talked to Andrea Hill just over a month ago, she told me about the intense media pressure she and her family were under. They felt to be at the centre of a media storm. All she said she wanted to do was to do her job and press forward with a policy she firmly believed in. The problem was, with her sky-high salary, she was the story. And tonight, that's what she remains. Kim Riley, BBC Look East, Ipswich.
Well, we'll be hearing from the new leader-in-waiting for Suffolk County Council in just a little while. But now let's turn to the local election. Hello, welcome back to Ipswich. We're rounding up the local election results. We're talking about the AV vote, and we're also talking about the chief executive of Suffolk County Council, who works in this building here behind me, Andrea Hill, who's been told to stay at home on full pay. Now, I am told, in conversations that I've had, that actually it's nothing to do with her salary and nothing to do with the political direction of the council. I spoke to Mark B, who is the leader-in-waiting this afternoon, and I asked him about the complaints that they've been having against Andrea Hill, and I asked him how many there'd been.
There have been a number. I can't give you a full number because there may be others that I'm not aware of, but I can tell you that there is more than one allegation.
What does this say about the style of management at Suffolk County Council over the last 18 months, 2 years?
I mean, clearly Andrea Hill has her own style, and chief executives bring their own style. And I think the thing that we as members feel, it's important that the council and that the members are the story and not any individual employee, be that a chief executive, be that any employee of the county council, that they're not the story.
This has happened very quickly since the previous leader stood down and you became leader. What does that say about your relationship with her?
I have a working relationship with her, but clearly I am not leader of the council yet. I won't become leader of the council until I'm elected at the annual general meeting, which happens on the 26th of May. Obviously, I don't have that working relationship with her.
You do know that this looks like you've moved in and she feels that she doesn't have anybody watching her back.
It's not my role to watch the chief executive's back. I mean, it would be my role to work with the chief executive, but I can only do that.
Can you work with Andrea Hill, do you think?
I can only do that in the capacity as leader.
Do you think that you could work with her?
As a councillor and as chairman of the scrutiny committee, which I have been over the last few years, I have had a working relationship with her, yes.
Does she, do you think, believe that she can work with you?
That's again a question that you're going to have to ask her.
Would we have been having this conversation if the previous leader had still been in post? Would Andrea Hill still be at her desk? Would we have been talking about her being on extended gardening leave?
That's a very interesting question, and not one that I can really answer, really. But who knows? Who knows, Stuart?
The spaces are always the most interesting thing, aren't they? Now, as we've heard from Andrew earlier, the Lib Dems suffered the biggest losses in yesterday's